How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have another community questions video for you guys. This one was actually submitted by Aaron, so thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. But for those of you that are new to the channel, this is basically where I put a question on my community section on YouTube. You guys come along, you answer the question in the comments, and then we'll look through the comments and we'll discuss basically what you thought about it. Today's video, what we've put up there is, what would you add or change about the Max Guild? There's a lot of work to get to the guild, but other than the Grand Exchange and the portals in the garden, you don't get much. What else would you do? So this should be quite an interesting video to see what you guys come up with for adding something onto the Max Guild, see what you guys think the Max players should be getting from the Max Guild, seeing as it used to be this amazing place used to have a boss portal that you couldn't get anywhere else, but Wars Retreat replaced that. It used to have like access to the fire making and all that sort of stuff in the corner, and it obviously all the garden stuff is still there. You can still use the portals in the garden to get to your crystal trees, all that sort of good stuff, but sometimes it just feels a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. So this should be quite interesting. Let's have a look what you guys think. Alright, so our first comment says, accessing the Max Guild should enable you to make the Master Skilling outfit. This will be a combined outfit that gives the effect of all elite skilling outfits once they've been unlocked. This makes doing stuff a lot easier. So basically just taking everything from like the divination outfit, the camouflage outfit for thieving, and basically all of the skilling outfits and combining it into one big outfit. This would actually be pretty cool because every time I need to do a specific task, I've then got to go ahead and take out my skilling outfit from Diango, whatever he's called, and actually take that back out of there, fill up my bank with it, and then when I'm done, either forget to actually delete it so I've got the bank space back, or delete that outfit ready to be able to use next time, as you can delete them and reclaim them. So it definitely can be a bit awkward to have to organize them like that, having to delete them and reclaim them if that's what you do. But for you guys that don't, the people who do quite a bit more skilling than I do, and then you maybe keep that in your bank, those add up to a lot of inventory spaces, like a hell of a lot of inventory spaces. So this would be really useful. It'd save you a lot of bank space, it'd save you time for to organize your stuff. You could actually have one preset without like anything in your inventory to be able to do your skilling maybe. That'd be pretty interesting. I like this idea. I like this idea like quite a bit actually. What do you guys think? Would you be interested in a master skilling outfit? Let me know. Grimhood says having an invention table there would be nice. It would be nice, to be honest. Having to actually go to Falador every single time you want to do invention, it's a little bit awkward, but I mean, I guess it's because it's the invention guild, but at the same time, I think that having an invention table at the Max Guild wouldn't be too big of an issue. I think we should knock down a few walls, you know, drag it out a little bit and just sort of extend a little bit. Add ourselves some workstations, add ourselves something like some cooking stoves, some rangers as well. You know, just make it like a little bit of a skiller's paradise in my opinion. That's what I think, because I don't know, it's just not enough. And I feel like it's a little bit of a tight space for someone who's maxed. I don't know. There's bigger houses in RuneScape, so I don't know, yeah, but I think an invention table would be pretty damn useful. Obviously, it would save you the time for running here and there. And honestly, I think max people getting a little bit of efficiency bonus shouldn't be too much of an issue. I mean, it's by efficiency, it's nothing like, you've managed to save so much time and made so much more money because you're maxed. And you could maybe even make that table in the Max Guild require 120 invention to use, and that way you can say like, oh, well, you're not getting a bonus on getting 120 invention over someone who wants to get 120 invention but isn't maxed, because they already have to have 120 to get it, and that's the max level for any benefits to invention. So I think that could work. What do you guys think? Would you be interested in this? Think this is a little cool addition that you could do, that you could get yourself behind? Let me know. Our next comment says, just a better area in general. After maxing, I was a bit underwhelmed at the small corner sort of slapped onto Prif we got. Something like a skilling Wars Retreat would be neat. I actually kind of feel like I agree. It just seems a little bit small for a max guild. I thought the same thing when I walked in. So I spent ages maxing, and I actually made a video talking about this in the past, where when you max, it kind of just feels underwhelming, and you kind of just go, what now? And like, unless you've got another goal straight away to do after max, then you kind of just sort of think, And a lot of people quit because it's just disappointing. You walk through the doors and you're like, okay, cool, what are we going to do at the Max Guild? What's the Max Guild got to offer? And there's a little fire in the top right corner. There's a boss portal, especially these days, that you do not need to use. And that's pretty much it. There's the stuff in the garden, obviously, but you don't really even count that because you're too busy walking through those doors and checking out the Grand Exchange area and stuff like that. And that's it. Like, it literally feels like the Max Guild is just a Grand Exchange, like a glorified Grand Exchange. And even then, it doesn't even feel like a Grand Exchange because it's so damn small. So basically, I think that we should actually get a little bit of a bigger space than that. I think the Max Guild should be something that you actually have to explore a little bit. Like, even if it was just as big as Walls Retreat like this person said, or just slightly bigger with different areas and stuff, I feel like that'd be really cool. Or you go in and maybe there's all the different guilds there off to the side, so you'll go down and then as you get to like a big hall area, then there's all the different guilds off to the side. You'll have like the crafting guild or the smithing guild and the mining guild off to the side somewhere, and they'll just be like representatives from the actual guilds that have come and they've set up shop, and it just basically gives you access to all the different stuff there. I think that'd be really cool. Like, there's no reason to not to do that, in my opinion. It'd be a really useful place for people to come in and actually be able to use all the facilities that the actual guilds of those would offer you. It doesn't have to have everything that the guilds have. It could have like a little bit less so that the guilds are still relevant in their own way, but at the same time, just having like, for the smithing guild, having like an anvil and a furnace, just having that there, and then for the crafting guild, just having like specific stuff. It just would be really cool that when you became a max player, you would walk through those doors and then you'd actually have a place to look around, rather than just going through the doors and in one part of your screen, like you can zoom out a little bit and you can see everything. I just feel like adding a little bit of adventure, a little bit of exploring to becoming a max player would make it a little bit less underwhelming, and I feel like there definitely needs to be a little bit more. Like, if you could run around, if you could like check out all these different rooms and see if there's anything useful in here, anything useful in there, then you kind of feel like you're getting rewarded as well. So that's something I'd quite like to see, like a big hall area that you come into, and the grand exchange is in the hall, and then off to the side of the hall, like along the side of it, there's all different sections where you can go through doors leading into all the like mini guilds. I don't know, personally I think this is a cool idea. What do you guys think? You'll have to let me know on this one, because I feel like this is probably going to be the biggest one that we've talked about. I think, probably. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think that could be a really interesting thing. Just knock down all the walls in the max guild, extend it out a bit, make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to explore, and I think we'll be good. Alright, our next comment says, since Max Guild is for people who have all 99s, would be really nice if they included things to help people get those 120s. For example, free portables, a summoning crystal so it would be the fastest way to up summoning, teleport to the abyss, or maybe straight to some altars like blood and soul, maybe a gilded altar for 120 prayer. Okay, so I like some of the ideas in this, but I'm not going to lie, there's a few things that I think may be a little bit too far. Things like the gilded altar, I don't think that should be included, and I don't think we need to add like more teleports straight to the altars, as we do actually have the Wicked Hood. Now, I know that's like a limited daily amount. Maybe you could actually make the portal do what the Wicked Hood does and use the actual same charges, but you would just don't have to wear the Wicked Hood or anything. You can just go straight through. Maybe at that point you could do it, so it's like having a Wicked Hood portal rather than actually having to wear it. But I guess at the same time, if you're doing that, you'd probably have the Wicked Hood with you anyway. Doesn't it give a little bit of a bonus? I'm not too sure. But anyway, as for the ones about the free portables and stuff, I kind of like those. I think they're cool. But what I would suggest is like a counter offer is, rather than having free portables, maybe have something that we can just add portables to. So what I mean by that is, you would have the portables in a certain area, and as I mentioned earlier, you would have like the crafting guild, all that sort of stuff, mining and all that one, whatever. You could actually have maybe a portable area in there, and what you could do is you could just put on a stack of portables. So if you took 10 portables to it, you could add them to it, and it would charge it up, lasting, I think, the last 5 minutes each, so 10 would be 50 minutes, and then that way you don't have to actually add another one for the whole entire time. It's just a little bit of convenience. You just have to use the portables, making them not just completely go to waste. It still costs you the actual cost of using portables as well. It would just mean you don't have to wait for that downtime when people actually like it runs out and people are like, oh, who's dropping the next portable, who's doing the next portable. It would just mean that it's always charged. People can add stuff and it adds them all together. So say if I added one and then someone else added one, that timer would then stack on top of each other rather than just being for the individual person. I think that would be really cool. You could have portables pretty much running 24/7, but players would still have to pay for it. What do you guys think? And that would be a way that could work. But at the same time, things like the summoning crystal, I don't know. These things may be a little bit too far. I really don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe I'm like overreacting a little bit. It might not be that bad. But the teleport straight to the abyss, there's all these things. Like, you need to just consider the fact that like the abyss is something. If you're going to run to the abyss, you have to take into account that you're running through the wilderness. You're getting something. It's risky. You've just got to take the risk. Now, teleporting directly to the abyss could actually just end up being that you've cut out the wilderness. Then I don't know. It just takes away that risk. And then I kind of feel like the reward you get from having the skull and stuff just kind of comes a little bit too easy. I don't know, but either way, I really like some of the ideas in here. I think you've come up with some really cool ideas, and I really like the idea that you're talking about like adding basically more like skilling focused stuff rather than purely just PvM. I'd love to see some skilling stuff upgraded here, even though it's not something I do. It would just mean like, say for example I could AFK something while I was at the max guild. not really doing anything. That's even if it was just another freaking harp that they've added for crafting or something like that. I would definitely do it. I'd just AFK something while I was editing or something. But at the moment, I just don't have the effort, or I just really can't be bothered going to the harp in Prifdanis and going to do it that way. I don't know. I know it probably doesn't take that long to get to, but it's just effort, dude. It's just effort. But like I say, really like some of these ideas. What do you guys think? Do you think some of them are too overpowered? Do you think some of them are perfect? I really like the idea of the free portables if you add in your own, as long as you can charge it. I think that's really cool. But I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Our next comment comes from Deadlocks, and you say a Slayer portal that teleports you directly to the Slayer creature or outside if aggressive. This would be great for tasks like brutish dinosaurs or vile blooms. Also a fairy ring. Okay, so I kind of like this because I don't do much Slayer, but if I could just use this portal and get to outside wherever it is going, even if it was limited to like 3 tasks a day or something, I would do this. I would do my 3 tasks a day because I really just can't be bothered. I'm so lazy when it comes to Slayer. It is really bad. Like, I'm really bad when it comes to having the effort and the motivation to figure out where I'm going because I'm that clueless on all the different tasks, and then having to actually travel there and do the task, and then having to go back like 20 minutes later and then go to another task. It just, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of effort for me, and my motivation for it is very low. But if I could just teleport there, even like just like I said, just like a few times a day, just get directly there, I'd just probably do it. I'd just do it, get them out of the way, and I'd probably be a bit more enjoyable as well, because you could just gear up, load your preset, go straight through the portal. It would make life a little bit easier, wouldn't it? As for a fairy ring, I completely agree. I think a fairy ring should definitely be here. I don't know why we don't have one, say, in the garden, maybe. I don't know why there wouldn't be a fairy ring in the garden. Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe it's a little bit too overpowered to do that. But having to travel to Edgeville and then run around the corner to the freaking little fairy ring around the little bridge. I don't know why I forgot what a bridge was called. But having to walk there to use a fairy ring, it's just a pain in the ass. And now I'm probably sure that there's a better fairy ring to use. So if there is, let me know, because that's the one I use. I teleport I teleport to Edgeville and run there every single time I need one, which isn't very often, thankfully. But if there's a better one, let me know. But at the same time, I don't see why we don't have a fairy ring in the garden, because it's not hard to get to that other one. It's just like a little bit of a trek. So just for convenience sake, I don't see it being an issue. I'd get behind that, even if I use it like once every 3 months. At least it's there. The next comment says the max guild needs to have greater functionality. Maybe if they included crystals like it was to give pull boosts if the quests are done. A quick GE isn't valuable anymore because you have so many teleports available now to get to a GE. So I assume from the pull boost what they mean is the Ooglog Spa things, maybe, or maybe you're thinking about the Glacier buff possibly, or something else that I have no idea about. But I actually think this would be kind of interesting. So adding stuff like skilling buffs, if it was the pulls and stuff, would be super useful. And I think that having something like this would definitely make the max guild a little bit more desirable, especially even if it's just for efficiency. Like let's be honest, a lot of people in the past went to max purely just because of the portal, like the boss portal. It was the only place to get a boss portal. So rather than running to bosses all the time, people really wanted the boss portal, so they maxed their entire account to unlock it. So if you added something for skilling that did the same sort of thing, that just made skilling a little bit easier, making these buffs get easier so you'd have to travel to get them, or just giving overall buffs in general and just making skilling a bit more efficient, then people would definitely do it. You don't have to offer these big, massive, overpowered things. It can just be little things in the background that just save you time, save you effort, you know, just makes life a little bit easier. I think this would be a pretty decent drive to get people to the max guild, to get people maxing if they were the sort of the person's like, I don't need to max, you don't really get anything out of it. More incentive definitely does need to be added to make people max now, because now with War's Retreat, there's just no reason. You don't have to, unless you want to be maxed, like unless you specifically want to be a maxed player. There's not really any other reasons to do it. The Kiln Cape's best in slot, so you don't need the max cape for best in slot. Look at the Dwarves, and Prifdanis teleport will literally take you to a Grand Exchange straight away anyway. The boss portal in the max guild is just not going to be used for bossing anymore, seeing as you can just use an adrenaline crystal at Wars and you can't use one here. You do also have a bonfire at War's Retreat to warm your hands on as well, which is permanent. You don't have to add more logs to it, whereas in the max guild you would have to add logs to that and then go through the portal. You can do cooking at the one in the max guild, which is kind of useful, but at the same time, it's not really that big of a deal. So I do definitely think that there needs to be more incentive to actually get into the max guild, and I feel like adding things like these buffs and stuff that you could just pick up rather than having to travel around the map to get them would be definitely something that you could do to make that happen. Alright, so I think we're going to make that our last one, and honestly, I really think that there's some really good ideas in here. Like, you guys, a lot of you have said the same sort of stuff, like just making sure to have like the skill boost, being able to add somewhere that you could go towards 120 at, that gives a little bit of extra benefit. Adding things like the invention table, adding things like the other guilds and stuff. Like, you guys have all come up with brilliant ideas, and I think that they're all definitely stuff that you could consider. At the same time, I do think that the max guild definitely does need a change. I just really don't know what exactly they could do with it. Personally, I think there's some things in here that maybe would make the max guild a little bit overpowered or a little bit too good, to the point where it would probably make the other guilds kind of pointless to do, and you don't want everyone just cooped up in the max guild skilling away. So I don't know, there's different things about it, and maybe if you limited how much stuff you could use there per day, maybe would be a way to do it, but I really don't know. But I think that focusing on skilling for the max guild is definitely something that could be done, and probably is a better thing to do, seeing as we have War Retreat already, which is focused on all the combat and stuff and all the bosses. So I don't see the need for us to add all that sort of, just like take all that and copy paste it in the max guild. It just wouldn't make sense, and it'd split up all the PVMers. Like, War Retreat is the PVM hub, like it just is. It's really cool seeing everyone there talking about bosses, doing the bosses together, finding people to group with and stuff. Like, it is really nice to see. But at the same time, if we just copied and pasted that into the max guild, it would separate all the max people from the low level people. War's Retreat would become a low level sort of place, and I don't know, it just wouldn't be as good. But I think adding things like the guilds available at the actual max guild, but making them not as good, making sure there's things missing so you'd still have to go to the guilds every now and again to actually do stuff there, then I think that this is definitely not a bad idea. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? Do you like that idea or not? I'm just interested because it's just something that came off the top of my head. I want to see what you guys think. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like on it. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new. I love these sort of things. I love talking about stuff with you guys. I love getting you involved in the videos. So I hope you are enjoying the community questions. I know there's been a few of them recently. For any of you who didn't know, I have been fairly damn sick the last few days, so I haven't been able to sort of do as much normal work as I would, pushing out things like the series and stuff like that, and I've not been streaming as much. So at the same time, these just kind of make a nice easy way for me to get a video up for you guys, so that I'm still posting when I want to post, and at the same time I really love making them. So let me know what you guys think, if you enjoy the videos or not. But that's enough of that. Thank you all so much to my channel members for the extra support. I really appreciate it. Your names will be on screen right now. If anyone else is wanting to join the channel members, click the join button by the sub button. You can see what perks you get while you also support me, and I really do appreciate it. But anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you later guys. Bye.